So, just beginning with Zazen and going inwards. Letting go with the clutter of the day, connect to your breath. Half close your eyes, relax the mind. Feel the length in your spine. Shoulders are relaxed. A few breaths. Sensei Nirei. Onegaishimasu. Welcome to Home Dojo session 3. Today we're going to be using the stick, the jo. If you don't have a jo, maybe you'll have like a broomstick or something with a length anyway. So see if you can find something like this to practice with. Shouldn't be too long, about just over 1 meter. So, yeah, something like this. This is 1 meter, and it's just a bit longer than 1 meter. So we're going to do some different exercises with this, just to discuss a little bit the theme. So the theme this week is about training mood, and I've got some tips I've put on Facebook about how you can gain a mood for training, and especially in this time, it's quite difficult to find the motivation when we cannot meet each other in physical terms, but we have to find a way then to stay connected to this art that we love. So you can see those tips, if I remember, something like setting up your home in a way where you can practice. So my first tip would be try to make a regular time. First of all, dedicate a time in the week specifically for that practice. Maybe it's the same time as you had when you were practicing physically with your students, fellow students. And wear the clothes. It's really, really good to try to put yourself in the role of the aikido practitioner by wearing the clothes. It will give you that context that you're really practicing. 3, get a portrait of O-sensei, put it in the living room. That will also create the atmosphere. It will keep you in contact with the source of aikido, the founder. 4, lay some material around the room, some aikido magazines and books. Again, that will remind you and trigger your thoughts about aikido. Then what else can we do? Stay in contact with fellow students and your teachers. Make Skype calls or Zoom calls. Maybe get some online lessons. It's not going to be the same physically, but it will keep you in touch at least, and allow you to make a sharing about how things are going as well. And just, that community group feeling is very important in aikido. What else can you do? You can do some research. Now we have an opportunity to go further into research about aikido, to look at the background material, the history of aikido. Maybe you want to write a song or a poem about aikido. That's also something we used to do, right? If you look in human history, many songs and poems have been written about the things that people love to do, or people they loved. So there's an opportunity as well to be creative as well, to write a song or a poem or something about aikido. What else can you do? Now you have maybe you have a possibility to have a dedicated training time. Also try to make it a focus so that you really, really pay your attention to the practice. Even if it's just to be sitting and contemplating about aikido. It's very easy to get distracted, especially if you're in the family and you've got other family members around, or you hear noises around in the street. Very difficult to get that focus that you need to really concentrate on the practice. So I wish you luck with doing this. Just try to stay happy and in connection as much as you can. That would be great. So let's move on and do the practice with the jo. So I've got a few things I'd like to show which you can practice at home. As I say, if you don't have a jo, try to find a broomstick or something long like this. And make sure that it's safe, so there's no kind of grains or something coming out of the apparatus, the wood, that might cause a splinter or something. So make sure it's safe, because the jo will be sliding the jo, turning it in the hand, so it needs to have a smooth contact with the hand. So first we're going to do some warm-ups with the jo. And secondly, I'm going to go into some suburi, some individual exercises. And these will relate a little bit to techniques in Aikido, the way we change the hands, the connection intelligence that we need to connect our center with our hand movement. Then we'll move on to partner exercise, but without a partner. So I'll show you the uke roll and the uchi roll. So with the jo, we call uchi a bit like tori, and uke is like uke. Sometimes the role is switched, so uke means tori and uchi means uke. It's very confusing, but just know that there are two roles. One is attacking, one is defending. From there, I'm going to show you the complement in the movements for kumijo number 1. And there are a number of kumijos in the system that I'm practicing. My system that I practice is a bit related to Saito Sensei, but also to the Asai system, because I had a teacher in the past, Lysinga Sensei, who was a student of Asai Sensei. So he was a big source of knowledge for me for the Jo, and helped me to bring it into my practice as well. So after the kumijo, I'm going to show you a novel idea about how we could practice Aikido with the Jo. How we can practice leading the technique, a bit like we would do with the bokken. And how we could practice even to make an ukemi, as if we are holding a hand, somebody's arm, and making some kind of flow or following with the Jo, as if it's somebody's arm. So I'll show some ideas I have, and this is no claim to say that this is real Aikido, but that we could be creative in the way that we use the Jo. So I'm going to show you some of that as well. And then finally, if we have a bit of time left, I'm going to show you some of the moves of the well-known 25 Jo kata from the Asai system. There are other Jo katas I know from the Saito system as well, but today we're just going to focus on the first 10 moves of the 25 move kata. And then we'll cool down with a few nice things we can do to stretch with the Jo and to give a little massage and so on like that. And so that's what we have planned for today, so some different parts to look at. So enjoy, and let's go. Sensei, okay, first sliding the hands from one side of the Jo to the other. Try, if you can, to catch a little finger on the edge on each side. You can start slowly and see if you can eventually pick up the speed, make a rhythm. Kind of very relaxed but firm grip in the Jo, so you don't want to be stuck in the movement, but you want the hands to glide from one side to the other in a very relaxed and rhythmic way. When we've done that, we'll start to turn the hips a little bit and slide the hand back to the backhand. So the front hand slides back to the backhand, we open at the side, and then go in on the other direction and open at the side. So we're opening and then closing the hands at the same time as turning the hips. So a little bit, now we are practicing already the connection intelligence to the Jo, using our body in relation to the Jo. And it's a good training for our intelligence in the connection, and for the awareness of how to use our body in connection with another object or another person in the end. And so we're just sliding the hands backwards and forwards at the same time as turning the hips, keeping our center line. So notice that the Jo is always in front of our center line when we do this. So already this movement is a very good training, very good coordination training and centering training, as well as warming up the hips, turning the hips. And eventually, I'm going to change now, going upwards. So now a different direction. It's also a nice way to learn to guide the direction of the Jo. So we can guide the direction in different lines of force. And that gives it versatility and agility, when we can learn to use the Jo in flexible ways in different directions. And let's try now cutting down. So bringing the hands up together, sliding the backhand to the front hand, and cut it down. Let's go on the other side, bring the hands up, backhand to front hand, cut down. It's going to warm up the shoulders a bit more as we lift our hands up over our head. Still, don't forget to connect the breath to the movement, breathing in as you go up, Breathe out as you cut down. A few times. And let's see now, just a little challenge if we can connect those movements. First the front, then upwards, and then down. So we do 2 to the front, 2 up, and 2 down. To the front, 2 up, and 2 down. And just something you can practice. Then eventually, keeping hold of both ends of the jo, and turning our hips one side and then the other, looking over the shoulder, getting a bit more rotation in the spine, feeling the loosening of the lower back, bending at the knees so we can put more weight on one foot and then the other. And then, like we do in our aikido warm-ups, we can start to make circles with our hands and then come back the other direction. So now we're opening up our torso, really giving a lot of movement to our spine when we do this. And still staying connected to the center, to the hands as we move through this movement with our breath. One more time, and change. Let's do a little stretch now, so first reach up the jo, and then let's go to the side. Keeping the arms extended, doing a side bend. Pushing the heel of the outside of the foot into the ground, and then come back, and then to the other side. So on the side where you're stretching, push the heel in the ground, so you reach up with that hand, stretching the side of the body. Breathe in as you reach up, breathe out and stretch. Up, 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 it's more upwards and bending to the side, so feel about going upwards more than to the side. Up, breathe in, and to the side. But just a little bit to the side more. Reach, 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 and then back. Okay, breathe in. And now we're going to bend forwards, put the jo on the ground. See if you can really place the jo down. And drop the head. Feeling the lower back release. Then breathe in. Put the arms behind you and find the jo behind. Opening your body. Bending backwards. Backward flexibility and then going forwards again. Reach forward. Breathe in and reach back. And change. Now we're going to make a twist. Hold the jo in one hand, drop in the other end, and catch behind you the lower end. Now using the upper hand just to twist your elbow to your opposite shoulder as you look over your shoulder on the other side. Making a nice twist and then come back. Do the same on the other side. Hold it in the hand, grab with the other hand on the lower side, bring the elbow to the shoulder as you turn and look over your shoulder. And change. This time raising the jo, and we're going to stretch to the leg. So we can make a kind of a forehead to knee stretch. So we turn to the leg and bring the jo down. Again, if you have the flexibility, try to put the jo on the ground. If not, that's fine. Just let it hang. And then for an extra compression, see if you can put your forehead on your knee. You may want to bend your knee for this. You'll feel the stretch all the way up the leg to the spine. And then breathing in, coming up. Breathe out, going to the other side. Maybe jo on the ground. And then eventually forehead to knee. Always taking care not to push your body more than the limits. And let's do that one more time. On each side. Breathe in, turn, breathe out. And then keeping the jo down in front of your feet, we're going to just do a little inside leg stretch there. One leg stretch, one leg bend. We'll go to the other side. Keeping both feet flat on the ground. So we're going to warm up legs, lower body, upper body, everything warming up. Now we're going to turn to the heel, flex the toes. Maybe help your spine to be upright with the jo, support with the jo there. So the jo can assist you in the stretching, and then coming to the other side. Try to keep the hips low as we go to the other side. And again, breathe in, moving to the other side. And again, breathe in, change. All right, feet parallel, quite wide. And reaching the hands forward, clasp the top of the jo, and reach the arms forward. Maybe
Put your head between your arms and keep your hips back so you get a really long spine. So it's like really opening the shoulders, spine. Take a few breaths there. And change. Right, walking the feet in, holding the jaw in the middle. Keeping relaxed in the shoulders. So now we're going to just manipulate the fingers and the wrist. It's by lifting and dropping the jaw. Breathing, just relaxed, lift and drop. You may want to look at the jaw or just look away. Maybe even with the eyes closed to sense, to perceive how the jaw is moving without even looking at it. And then try the same on the other side. Up and down. See if you can get a little rhythmic motion there going. Staying completely still in the other part of your body, just this part of the body moving. All right, and let's just build that up, hand up to the shoulder. So now we rotate at the wrist to bring the hand to the shoulder. So we're flipping the jaw back over your shoulder there. And the other side, up and down. Right. Then we can make a little warm-up like we do with the aikido taiso. We've got nikyo and kotegaishi. Kotegaishi, nikyo. So we can actually make this kotegaishi movement and nikyo movement with the jaw. Kotegaishi, nikyo. Just by rolling it through the wrist. And for an extra bonus, see if you can walk the jaw through each finger. One more time. Catch. And you may drop it. If you drop the jaw, just make sure you're in a space where you're not going to drop it on anything. Keep it safe. So we've got the Gaishi Nikyo. And it's no problem. Yeah, I mean, I might drop it myself in this session. But the point is that by dropping it, we learn more and more about how to control it, how to keep it in our hands without being fixed on or attached to it. Yeah, so it's a good exercise also to let go, not to worry too much if you drop it. Yeah. Okay, left leg forward. Keeping the grip in the middle of the jaw now. So now we're going to practice figures of 8. We want to roll the jaw around the wrist, going up and down. And the trick is not to make it happen around your shoulder, because if it goes around your shoulder, it looks a bit like this. So there's actually no function in the wrist there. There's nothing happening there. We want it really to happen in the wrist. So to do this, the trick is to try to keep the elbow close to the body. And this is going to help you with your aikidos. A lot of the times when we begin aikido, we learn a very kind of rigid way and not so efficient for our body. But what the Joe is teaching us, amongst many other things, Joe is a great teacher for aikido. One of the things that it's teaching us is to keep our arm elbows closed so that we move our body as a unit. And we can see this in this figure of 8 movement. So I'm trying, it's difficult, but I'm trying as much as possible to keep my hand on a horizontal line by keeping the elbow close to the body. And at the same time, the jaw is going up and down. So it's going up on the inside, there, and then it's going up on the outside. Yeah, and I can do that by turning my hip inside first and then outside. So at the same time as the tip is going down and up, the hip is going in and out, right? Can you see that? The hip moving. The hip moves with the movement of the jaw. Let's try that on the other side. We're going down and up, down and up. So just, if you want, you can just do this slowly and follow it with your hand. Sometimes it helps to assist with your hand there. And then when you're ready, you might want to let go. Do it at a slow speed. It sometimes can help to do it a little bit faster to give the gravity some assistance with the gravity. Yeah, and forget not to breathe. And just let it go, just let it happen. Alright, so we've got that movement flowing. Next challenge, if you want, this is fine. If you want to go this far, this is fine, just to practice this. You can pause the video and practice this a few times. If you want to take it another level, we'll do it in sets of first 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then changing to the other side, grabbing it with the other hand, stepping in. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab with the other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now maybe let's reduce to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Catch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turning it up to 3. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Change. 1, 2, 3. Turning up the difficulty to 2. 1, 2. Change. 1, 2. Change. 1, 2. And now the ultimate challenge. Just stepping one by one. So stepping with each turn of the hip. So now we're practicing also to change our hand movement. So this is also something very important in Aikido. Not just to move your body with your elbows close so that you can move as one unit, but that we are able to switch our legs from one side to the other quite swiftly in a flow. So Joe is moving in a flow, and the feet try to move together with the Joe. So we're actually learning a lot from this object just by trying to practice with it in a very continuous, flowing way. And let's just change the hands, keeping the feet fixed now. So going on left side and right side, and left side and right side. All right, what was it? And just holding it in the middle. So we're going to move on to do some saburi, but before we do that, going into shomen. So shomenuchi, just with the feet in this horse stance or a sitting stance. Eventually shomen would be with a kamai, a posture like this. But just to warm up the legs, let's roll the Joe behind our shoulders in the middle line. And then now it's in the middle line, we want to cut down through the middle, bring the hands to the belly and drop your center. Feel the strength in the legs required there. Keeping a straight spine, also good to learn for the posture, to keep it upright. And we bring it to the other shoulder. Raise a little bit the shoulder, the hips, and then dropping the center. Yeah, again, raising the hips, raising the center, and dropping. Right, let's do it on the right side 10 times. Okay. We've done that 10 times, we switch sides. Left side forward, right hand back. We do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, basic saburi. So let's start with shomen. So right leg forward, kamai. So we have a similar stance to our aikido kamai. Actually, the aikido kamai is actually symbolizing holding a weapon. So it's no surprise that it's like the aikido kamai, yeah, shomen. So starting from kamai here. So to start shomen, we lift in the center line, and the end is going up behind our body, and the weight is on the back foot, and then we're shifting to the front foot. Shomen. So we lift, weight on the back foot, and cut, weight on the front foot. Let's do that 10 times. Ich, ni, san, yo, do, rok, shich, hachi, kyu, ju. Left side. So bring the left hand forward, right hand back. So keeping the hand on the edge of the jo, and hands are about half shoulder width apart with each other. Keep the center line, hips are square, and shoulders down, lifting 1, ni, san, yo, go, rok, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Next, basic exercise, yokamen. So yokamen, with yokamen we roll the stick over the shoulder, past the outside shoulder, and then we step up, bring the other leg back, and cut down at a diagonal, about 30 degrees, head height, keeping the hands in front of our body. So there are two forms of ukemi. One is with the hands in this open position, and the other one with the hands in the crossed position. So we get from one to the other by switching continuously. We call it renzoku master. So we have ukemi on the open side, and on the closed side, on the cross position with the arms, is gyaku ukemi. Gyaku as in gyaku handi. Gyaku means opposite, so we have the opposite position of the hands in gyaku ukemi, and then the open is just ukemi. And each time we're switching the legs, so as you drop the stick past your shoulder, you step up, and the other leg comes back, so that you practice, as you move the jo, you practice to move your center and you switch your stance. So it's very important, like I said before, in aikido we try to be efficient with our center by switching our hand movement from one side to the other. Now we can do it with the ukemi and gyaku ukemi 10 times. Ich, ni, san, yon, go, rok, shich, hachi, kyu, ju. And let's change hands. So now we're going from the left side. Ich, ni, san, yon, go, rok, shich, hachi, kyu, ju. So that's ukemi and gyaku ukemi. Now, ski or chokuski. So chokuski is a thrusting motion. So there's some different parts to this movement to look at. So the first is how you pick up the jo. So we want it in a horizontal position so we can thrust horizontally. So we hold in this kamae position again with the jo vertical and just inside the front foot. So it's easy to pass the body. So the idea is first to pick up from the backhand. You don't want to pick up anywhere on the jo. You want to try to catch the back of the jo with the little finger wrapped around the edge of the jo. So a little exercise, maybe try to do it with the eyes closed. You might miss a few times, but it helps you to perceive where the jo is in space as you do this movement. So you don't have to try to figure out where it is with your brain. You just automate this motion first. It's catching and dropping there. Okay, when you've got that a little bit more automated, go to the next stage. So keep the knees soft, not too upright with the body. Try to keep in the ground with your center. So we pick up one. Now we make an opening, just like in the beginning of the lesson. We opened to each edge of the jo, so we can make the next move. And as you open, you make a little external rotation with the wrist. So just like almost revving up a motorbike, and you just bring the palm down so that externally rotates the jo. And then you turn the jo inwards by bringing the palm towards you in the other way. So that's the thrust, but it happens at the same time as a shift, or kuriashi. So you're shifting from the back foot, your body going forward, and at the same time thrusting. So in one motion it would look like everything together. Notice also like there's two things. One thing is the back foot goes a little bit out to stabilize. Got this triangular position just at a slight angle now. And the back hand connects to your belly, stays on your body, so that you have support from the back foot to your body and not unstable out here, wavering. You have a nice, solid, stable position, very strong position. And that will help you with your practicing your kamae as well, a good grounded kamae. So let's go through that 10 times. Let's do it slowly first. 1, pick up. 2, take it out and back. And notice that the hand is relatively horizontal to the front hand. The back hand and front hand are on the same level. Now lift up the back hand and then drop it. Keep them at the same level. Right? So now we've got it back. Now we shift forwards and internally rotate, bring in the hand to our belly. So in one motion it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 10 times. Ich. Ni. Also the target is the solar plexus level. San. Yon. Go. Rok. Shichi. Hachi. Kyu. Ju. And it's also a good exercise for Zanshin, for focus, trying to keep perspective So always keeping a forward-looking gaze, focusing forwards, but not ignoring the outside view as well. So trying to keep this broad perspective with our view. All right, other side. So now the Joe is on the inside of the right foot. Pick up, external rotation, weight on the back foot, shift, internal rotation. Yep. Ich, ni, san, yo, go, rock, shichi, hach, kyu, ju. Left side forward. This time, let's do now combinations. So building up, trying to do variations with these basics, using also defensive positions. So first defensive position would be protecting the side of your body by just taking the Joe outside your body like this. Right? So we can combine that with chokuzuki, what we just did. So chokuzuki, and now protecting that same side which you're on. So you need to bring the Joe all the way to the outside. And notice that if we have attacking line here, we're practicing to go to one side of the attacking line and then going to the other side of the attacking line. And can do that in a flow, forwards and a little bit back. Yeah? So this protective position is covering the head and the body at the same time, using the Joe as a kind of a shield. So this would be to fight inwards. It has to be brought all the way out so you protect the side of the body. It brings also your awareness to this side, the soto side of your body. And here you're more aware of the inner side of your body, the uchi side. So we're going soto, protect, uchi, attack. Yeah, let's do that 10 times. Ich, ni, san, yon, go, look, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju. Right side. 10 times on the right side. Ich. So now we go to the right side of the line, and then to the left side of the line. Ni, san, yon, go, rock, shichi, hach, kyu, ju. Change. So let's build up from there. So we're combining ski with shomen, with a defense in the middle. So we'll go from ski to the defense, and then we come back to the center line by swinging over the head, holding it in one hand, catching the other end with the hand, and stepping forward on the back foot. Let's do that again. So we have the ski on the left side, defense on the right side. We're going to the right, but we protect our left side. Catching about half a shoulder width down the stick, turn it over the head, catch the end, and I'm keeping our center line. Again, training our body to be really centered in this position, stepping forward, cut down. It's a bit like, actually it's very much like iriminage. You do aikido, this movement would be iriminage. Yeah, so let's do that again. So it's ski, defense, stepping forward, shomen. 10 times. Ich, ni, san, yon, go, rock, shichi, hachi, kyu, Ju. Right side. Ich. Ni. San. Yong. Go. Rook. Shinchi. Hach. Q. Ju. Okay. This time, we'll add one more thing, a little bit tricky now. We're going to add a movement called haso kamai, or a position, posture, haso kamai. So haso, ha-so means the figure of 8. If you can see, my arms kind of make an 8 shape, yeah, like this. So haso means symbol of 8, kamai is posture. So haso kamai, figure of 8 posture. So we're going to get to this position from those first 3 movements. So we've got ski, defense, shomen, and now here's a tricky bit, haso, back to shomen. Alright, let's do that again. So it's ski, defense, shomen, haso, shomen. Now I'm not going to ask you to do all that if you haven't practiced haso yet, so we need to learn haso if you haven't done it yet. So how are we going to do this? So let's start in this position first, the haso position. So what's happening here, important to start in the right way, is to have, first of all, if I'm on the right side, my right hand is up, my left hand is down. My left hand is just by my chest, and notice the thumbs are pointing towards each other. The right hand thumb is pointing down, and the left hand thumb is pointing up. Right? So this is the first position that we have to practice and get used to. This haso. Hands are about half a shoulder width apart as well. So from there we want to get into shomen. So let's just practice haso shomen. So where do we go from here? So well, first is a micro movement from your upper hand. It just turns up like this. So now we're already in a position where when we lift our hands above the head, we're aligned for the shomen movement with a step forward. Boom. Okay, but now how do we get back to haso from there? A few things happening here. So I engage my front hand to the front of the stick by opening again. So now both hands are on each extreme of the stick. And then I slide my back hand towards my front hand as I step up with my back foot. So we have to synchronize that a little bit. So the hand and the foot moving together. Right, so as I'm sliding, I'm making that strike we did in the start of the lesson to warm up. Kind of a strike there. And then the next stage is this backhand now. What is the backhand now? It's going to slide up about half a shoulder width. To make some space as a pivoting point. So this is a pivot point. And this hand, which is now in front, is going to be a little bit like a leverage. It's going to make a tap, and then we have this pendulum motion from the hand pushing down. And that's going to allow the longer side to go down and back over above the shoulder. And you catch under again. Let's go through that again slowly. So the upper hand first, micro movement going with the thumb up. So we're just turning the hand up. Hands above the head, ready for the shomen. Stepping forward to shomen. Then we open here to catch the edge of the stick. And sliding the back hand towards the front hand, stepping up. And then bringing that back hand now up a little bit, keeping it as a pivot point. Pushing with the front hand, stepping back, catch underneath. Let's do that in a series, a little bit more flowing. 1, 2, lift it up, ready for the shomen. 3, step forward. 4, open. 5, slide up. 6, slide up the hand at the back. Push it down. 7, and catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, catch. A little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and catch. Let's do that on the other side. Again, starting slowly. Turning the hand 1, lifting the hands in the center line 2, 3, step forward, 4, open, 5, again step forward for the other leg, and sliding the hand, 6, slightly backhand, 7, push and catch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, and then eventually, when you've practiced that a lot, many times, you can start to connect those points, join the dots, and make a flowing motion. So again, we're going to practice change of the stance. Change of handling is always good. Like we did with ukemi, like we did with the figure of 8. Now we do it with hasso and shomen. And because now we have to really challenge our connection intelligence, all kinds of things happening with our hands. Changing position, changing the contact point. So it's really preparing our mind in a different way also to connect to contact points. And that will help with your connection intelligence in aikido as well. Once you've practiced a lot of times this hasso kamai shomenuchi movement, so that you're getting a flow from it, we can start to move in different ways using that same movement. So now we're going to add a change of perspective, just tenkai, turning and seeing behind you. Tenkai ashi, turning. So basically the same movement is happening. We make this micro change with the wrist. We turn our body, shomen. And we come back to the hasso by those steps we did before. And again, on the turn of the wrist, we also turn the body at the same time. Yeah. And so we have this changing of perspective as we're doing the movement. Shomen in 2 different directions. And then we come to the other side. Shomen, hasso, turn. Shomen, hasso, turn. Shomen, hasso, turn. Give that a try. This is like the main challenge. If you can reach this point today, then you already made a success. Right, next coming up, we're going to do some kumijo. I'll show you the moves of kumijo number 1. Okay, kumijo number 1. So on this side, I'm going to do the attacking roll, the uchi roll. Okay, so this is going to be uchi's side. And then about 1 meter away on the other side, with the left leg forward, this will be the uke roll, defending roll. So I'll show you the uchi roll first, and then I'll show you the uke roll, and then we'll try to put them together in some video format. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I'll try to work out a way of combining them so we can see them being played at the same time. So, uchi's attack. We make chokuski like we did before. So we pick up at the end, open, ski, chokuski. Alright, that's the first thing. Very easy. Then, the next one is the defense, what we did before. So basically everything's the same that we did with the individual practice, we do with kumijo number 1. Next, we're going to bring it over the head as if we're going to do shomen, but we actually do ukemi instead. Ukemi. Right? And then bring it to the other side, gyaku ukemi. Right, now we imagine like our jo, okay, from here is crossing with our partner's jo, and we want to push it down there. Boom. And as we push it down, our partner feeds through and is going to make this ikkyo movement. So I roll my arm as if I'm being taken down with ikkyo. Let's do that again. So, step by step, chokski, defense, yokomen, gyaku yokomen, push it down, ikkyo. Right? Let's see uke's roll. So now we have 1 meter away, uke left leg forward. So, uke's roll is we open first. We wait for chokski to come, and then we connect. Then I make a little shift that's going to be attacking uchi, and uchi makes a defense on that side. And uke attacks is the thrust here. And now uchi comes back with the yokomen. I slide the hands, step a bit to the side, and come to the other stance, extending my arms. So I'm making this sliding motion with my hands. And I do the same on the other side, stepping back. And now, just as I showed before, my jo is being pushed down. I release this hand, feed it through, catch it under, and I'm making ikkyo, ura. It's kind of an ikkyo movement. Let's do that again, step by step. So we have open, connect to the attacker's jo. Uke attacks with a thrust, and now uchi responds with defense. Yokomen, I protect by sliding my hands, my front hand, or my back hand, to the other hand, and stepping back, and then on the other side. And now it gets pushed down this way. I release, and we make this ikkyo ura. So in the flow, it would be like up, chuck, here, get back 1, 2, get pushed down, release up. Ikkyo ura. And let's do both rolls again together at the same time. So the first would be attack. Hey. Hop. Yo. And okay. Hey. 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 This could be jo number 1. Okay, next let's try something very fun and creative. So I'm going to try to do ikkyo, shihonage and iriminage as uke, as if we're doing aikido, but there is no tori there. Well, the jo is tori in this case. The jo is the one doing the ikkyo, the shihonage and iriminage. And I'm grabbing the jo as if I'm grabbing my partner's arm. So yeah, so we have to imagine, and it's not a real person there, but we have to imagine this is a real person. And they're doing I, Hanmi, Ikkyo, Omote. So, for example, so as how we do Ikkyo. So they're leading me forwards this way. And then Tori will lift my arm in front of my face, and it will make my hip rotate. I remember, to good practice a good ukemi, I don't want to turn my back away. I want to try to find my hand as I'm practicing ukemi. So maybe a nice way to practice ukemi with this jo as well. Just finding the hand as we turn the hips. So that's standing. So this is I Hanmi, Ikkyo, Omote. I get led off my balance there, and then my partner leads the hand up, raises the sword and cuts down, trying to find my hand as I get led to the ground. Let's go on the other side. I Hanmi, Ikkyo, Omote. Just the last moment, turning the head to lie on the ground. I Hanmi, Ikkyo, Omote. All right. Should be possible Do the same on the other side, Aihami Ikkyo Ura. So again, I've got this Aihami position. This time I'm not being led this way, but my partner's arm is going under, over the outside, and then spiraling behind my tail and down. So I'm trying to find my hand going behind me. Now, might look a bit weird, just making myself roll and fall for no reason. But there is a reason, and that is to follow the Jo in its movement. And in this way, I'm practicing Aikido actually as if I had a partner here. So it's going under, on the outside. Now follow the hand behind me, and spiraling motion. And on the other side. We go Aihami, Ikkyo Ura. Might have to figure out the feet a little bit, coordinate the feet, and it goes up and around behind. Right. Aihami Shihonage Omote. So, Ami Shihonage Omote. My partner would lead me here, and then the Jo will go up, and the hand behind the neck, and I'll go onto the knee and roll. It's also a good exercise to be aware of where the Jo is as you roll. You don't hit it on the ground. Try to take care that you're not bumping anywhere. So I look forward, and you'll find that your heart rate will go up with this a little bit too. So my partner is coming through, extending through, and then bringing the hand up, turning there, I go to the knee. Aihami Shihonage Omote. On the other side. Aihami Shihonage Omote. Aihami Shihonage Omote. The hand goes to the neck. And Aihami Shihonage Ura. So in this case, my partner is turning behind me in Ura, and I bring a step forward. So with the Omote I turn, and with the Ura I step forward to go into the fall. So that again one more time. Aihami Shihonage Ura. Aihami Shihonage Ura. Aihami Shihonage Ura. Alright, one more. Aihami Iriminage Omote. So in Iriminage it's a bit like Ikkyo to start with. So Iriminage Omote. It's like my partner's going to do Ikkyo, but then they fold my hand to my face, and I go here. Right? So move it outside, fold the hand to the face, and fall. Other side. Moving outside, hand falls to the face, and you fall. So that's Aihami Iriminage Omote. Outside, hand to the face, and fall. Aihami Iriminage Ura. Again, outside, but then we have this spiral rotation. And then it comes up in the center line, past the face. And Iriminage Ura. Outside, spiral, up, and fall. Other side. And Iriminage Ura. And one more time. It's outside, up, spiral, up. Aihami Iriminage Ura. Let's see the movements with the Jo of Aihami Ikkyo Omote. Back it goes back. Raise the Jo, turn the hip, and step in. Back it goes back. Raise the Jo, turn the hip, step in. Aihami Ikkyo Ura. Take it outside. Step in, really take out. And outside, step in, really take out. Aihami Shihonage Omote. Once forward. So take the back hip back this time. Extend through past your partner. Pivot, cut down. Other side, Aihami Shihonage Omote. Pivoting and cut down. And Aihami Shibu nage, ura. So we tenkan first, and then cut down. On the side, tenkan, turn and cut down. Aihani irimi nage omote. Take it outside as if we're going to do ikyo ura. And then turn and cut. On the side, almost ikyo omote. Turn and then we cut. And ura, a little bit more turning. Irimi, tenkan, cut. Irimi, tenkan, cut. Right, let's finish our practice a little bit with a few moves of the 25 move kata, the first 10 moves. So the first 4 you'll recognize because we did it earlier. Ski defense, and also yokomen, yokomen. So let's do that. First 6 moves is ski, defense, ski, defense, yokomen, yokomen. And then move number 7, we look behind and we strike 7. Number 8, ski again. And now gyaku yokomen, left side. 9, yokomen, right side. 10. Let's do those 10 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's cool down. So let's just roll the jaw in the neck, massage on the neck, base of the skull. Just breathe. And just seesawing the jaw on the right shoulder. Take it to the other side on the left shoulder. Do a nice shoulder massage. Even you can hook both elbows around behind and then just roll the jaw in the upper back, middle back, lower back, basically the hips, everywhere where there's a bit of muscle, give it a roll of the jaw, the butt, glutes, back of the legs, front of the legs, thighs, side. Could be a bit painful on the side, especially if you've been running. And then placing the jaw down and rolling it under your foot. And the other side. Nice foot massage. Make sure the jaw is clean afterwards and your feet are clean. And then we call this parrot step. Nice bit of foot reflexology just to finish. Really intense. Slow down. Left to right. Alright, let's bring the jaw back to the center line and take 3 breaths. Raising the jaw on the in-breath. Bring it back down to your center, your breath. And we finish for today. So those were the basic moves of Joe. Some creative ideas there about how you can use the Joe as a partner. And I encourage you to use your creativity in these times. It's an opportunity for us to really think, how can we do this? How can we make something useful, even if we're on our own? Aikido is meant to be with a partner. But there are a lot of fundamental things that we can still practice on our own about how to use our center. There's things about keeping the elbows connected to the body, the coordination, switching of the stance, the zanshin, the keeping the perspective. So there's so many important principles that we can still practice. This connected connection intelligence that happens when we try to change the hand contact points and how we change our body with it. So let's research that, and there'll be more coming up in the future series with the Joe. So looking forward to present some more ideas. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can also leave some comments under the YouTube video. Let's finish for today by going inwards again, reconnecting to ourselves. And facing our sensei, sensei Mirei.